Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Seth. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing / recapping Euphoria Season 3, Episode 2. Now, here's my warning for spoilers. I am going to be talking about the newest episode, so if you haven't seen it or do not want any spoilers, that is your chance to click off the video. But if you don't care, then stay for the rest of this video as I review and recap on the latest episode of Euphoria. Let's get into it. Now we still have the main characters in all this. Rue is in it today. We have Maddie. We have Cassie. We have Nate. We have Faye. But we also have some other people that are making their debut back to it. We have Jules in this episode. We have Cal Jacobs. If people remember that, it's Nate Jacobs' father. And we have this one guy that was in the first episode, but I forgot to mention. His name is Alamo. Now let's get on to it. Now I forgot to mention this one big moment that I think will be a big player in the season in the first episode, and I don't remember how I forgot to mention it, but we're gonna mention it now. At the end of the first episode, Rue sends some products over to this guy named Alamo, who is a manager of some women entertainers, if you catch my drift of what I'm trying to say on that. And Rue and this guy named Alamo hit off, and they're talking, stuff like that, and Rue's like, oh, I don't want to be working as a drug mule anymore, can I start working for you, and I just think your life is so cool, and stuff like that. And they're hitting off and arriving, and stuff like that, and it's looking really good. But then, one of the women entertainers overdoses on the product that Rue sent over. So Alamo brings in Rue and questions her and stuff like that. It's like, hey man, didn't know what was in the product, just had to send the product over, really don't want to be doing this, kind of want to do what you do, but I thought this was just God's fate, Rue is saying. Well, Alamo tastes Rue's faith and basically says, okay, if you can pass this. So he puts an apple on her head and shoots the apple. Well, she passes. So Rue stays with this guy. Now on to episode 2, and how this episode starts is with Maddie. And we get to learn throughout the years what she was doing and how she got to work as a talent agency. Basically, Maddie found one of the managers of the talent agency and basically just pitched her on why she should hire her. And we all know who Maddie is. Maddie's a very confident girl, so when she pitched her on why she should hire her, the lady very liked it and thought, okay, I'll give you a chance. But then, Maddie got to realize throughout the time, it's not all sunshines and flowers, you know. Yes, you're getting to work with some very famous people, and that's cool and stuff like that sometimes too, but a lot of these famous people are not the most nicest people, and a lot of the money doesn't go to Maddie, it went to the famous people and the agency. So Maddie, with being all that, goes into business for herself. During the pandemic time, a lot of people who are wanting to be famous, you know, on TikTok, it's looking like, was moving down to LA to see if they can make it. Well, Maddie finds one of these girls, says, oh, I can manage you, and I can really make you out to be this famous person. So Maddie sets her up in the accountant world, if you catch my drift of what I'm saying, and this lady starts making some very, some good money and stuff. Well, one of the managers of the talent agency that hired her found out and basically said, hey, cut that out or you're losing your job. Because even though a lot of people are doing it these days, it's still, I guess, a taboo situation in the industry. So Maddie cuts the girl off and says, hey, I can't manage you anymore and stuff, to keep her job and to keep the stability of the money flowing in. Now on to Cassie. Cassie, as we seen in the first episode, she's fully going into the accountant world and is doing very risque pictures and is making a lot of money off those pictures we're seeing, because she saw in the first episode, Cassie reaches out to Maddie, and Maddie and Cassie meet up in this episode. And how you get to see Cassie's making so much money is Cassie, on her way to meet up with Maddie, is driving in a very newish BMW converter, And when Maddie sees that, Maddie looks like she gets jealous. So Maddie tries to find a way to one-up her. So when they meet each other, Maddie's on the phone acting like she's talking to some big person in the entertainment industry, and Cassie's like, oh my gosh, you're talking to that person. So they get to meet up and stuff like that, and Cassie does say, hey, she is sorry for what happened. I did lose my best friend. I want to, say I'm sorry. But then after a couple drinks and stuff like that, you get to see the real reason why Cassie wanted to invite Maddie over. Cassie wants Maddie to manage her. Because Cassie, the whole reason I think she wanted to get into this accountant thing was so she could get money and so she could get attention. Because she says even in this episode, if people found out about me, they would all love me. Why can't more people find out about me? And Maddie, being Maddie, she goes in for the kill. Basically says, a lot of girls like you, Cassie, want to be that. It's very oversaturated and stuff like that. And then what Cassie says, well, I'm kind of, doing this stuff. And Maddie goes, I've seen what you're doing. Yes, it's campy and stuff like that, but it doesn't show elegance. It doesn't show timelessness. And that's really where it kind of ends off. Cassie, I think, does feel like she is getting to be friends with Maddie, but Maddie is seeing, this is just a business opportunity. Now on to Nate. Nate is still trying to get his business working from the ground up. He is getting into some sketchy people and making some shady deals, it's looking like. And he's trying to get the funds for that, but it's not going too well, it's looking like. And then we get to see Cal Jacobs, Nate Jacobs' father, come in. And we get to see what he's been up to all these years and stuff like that. Really, his business kind of went down under and started getting into his temptations and addictions. And now it's looking like he is trying to see more of a brighter side and why he was getting into all those. And he's telling Nate, like, hey, really went into my temptations, but now I'm trying to be a better person. And he just, like, saying all these other things. But yeah. Now on to, I think, the main part of this episode, Rue's part. Rue is now working management at an adult entertainment place. She's working in management and really getting to know all these workers and stuff like that and the ins and outs of that place. And she gets to meet one of these women entertainers, Angel, and she's a very feisty, energetic, vocal person. And throughout this video, she really wants to she really wants to see what happened to the lady that overdosed in the first episode, because that was her friend. And a lot of the people like Alamo are just pushing her aside and that stuff. One day she just explodes and Rue talks to her and basically says, your friend overdosed on those products. Well, Angel couldn't take that, so she starts getting heavily into the products. And that's affecting their work business. Well, Alamo says, hey, I will take her to rehab and stuff like that, but you have to do that. And I found that kind of funny because Rose like, well, I've never really been on this side where I've told somebody that they have to go to rehab. So I thought that was kind of funny. Well, Rue does do that, but the lady says, hey, I really want to do that, but Rue just says, come on, you need to, it's gonna really help you out. So Angel goes to rehab. But we also get to see too, Alamo and Elizabeth, their controversies are starting to really rise. Elizabeth wants Rue back, but Alamo's like, nope, she's working for me now, and you killed one of my women. But the main thing and the last thing too is we get to see Jules and Rue reconnect, and we get to see what Jules has been up to all these years. She was wanting to get in to be an artist and really working in painting and stuff like that, but then she's also doing sugar baby work to get the bills paid and stuff like that. And we get to see that here and there they talk and stuff, but in this, Rue still feels like they have sparks with Jules, but Jules is like, hey, we're different now, I'm more wiser and older, but they're still willing, I guess, to rekindle some of that spark. And yeah, that's really the episode we get to see. We really get to see, like, I guess people talking about what the entertainment world is and all the the dangers of it, and I guess the pros of it too, and really the temptations a lot of people get into. But yeah, that is the episode. We do get to see what the next episode is towards the end, and it's looking like it's going to be Nate and Cassie's wedding. No, I thought that was going to be further down the season, but they're doing it earlier. So yeah, that is my review and recap on it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and goodbye!